Do you ever find yourself adding just one more thing to your cart when you're shopping, even though you don't need it? You've told yourself you're going to stop shopping, you're going to take a break from spending money, but for some reason, it just doesn't seem to stick. Today's video, I wanted to talk about reasons why we can't stop shopping, even though we try to, and some things we can do instead to hopefully tackle those impulsive shopping habits. It's not really any wonder that we can't stop shopping these days. We are bombarded with ads from brands, from influencers, from all over social media, brands we've never even heard of popping up, marketing emails. It's just really hard to not shop. And it's just, we live in such a consumerist society at the minute that even feeling like you want to detach from shopping feels like such a big task, and it feels sometimes very unachievable. Even though sometimes from the outside it might not look like you shop that much, you know yourself when you shop too much, or that you're just shopping for the wrong reasons. And I think shopping for the wrong reasons is the biggest issue of all. If you're shopping for the pure enjoyment of it and you enjoy shopping and then you buy things and then when you get them, you enjoy having them and you wear them lots and you get your use out of them, I feel like that's completely different to feeling the urge to shop when you're in a mood, or when you've had a bad day, or when something's happened that just kind of triggers you to shop. You buy the thing. It might be something that was on your wish list. It might be something that you never thought you wanted until you saw it in that moment. You just saw an ad. And then once you get the item, it's not so exciting anymore. You don't really wear it that much. It doesn't really fit in with your personal style. That's when shopping habits become more negative shopping habits, because we're not shopping in alignment with our style. We're not buying pieces that make sense for us. We're not buying pieces that we're wearing. We're wasting our money on things we're not wearing. And so you can kind of see the clear difference between the two. Now, on an environmental level, excessive shopping is bad, whether you're enjoying it and wearing the things or not. But today, I just wanted to tackle this from a more personal standpoint. But of course, the less we shop, the better in terms of the environment and staying away from overconsumption as much as possible. This morning, I was still reading the book In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts by Gabor Mate. And this is all about addiction. But I just love reading about addiction psychology because it makes me reflect on my own patterns, my own impulses. Whether I'd call them addictions or not is another story, but impulses can be similar. At least some of the brain programming is similar. And so I just love reading about this, and I find like it really feeds into this kind of content that I make. So if you're interested in addiction psychology, or if you feel like it could help you, definitely check out that book. This morning, he was saying how addiction, basically like it's all about the dopamine receptors in our brains. And when we use a substance or we engage in an activity that releases that dopamine hit, that's kind of how we become dependent on it or addicted to it, or just more likely to repeat the habit. Our brains have been wired to crave dopamine. It makes us feel good, so why would we not? But I think in this day and age as well, we'll get dopamine hits from so many different things, like a like on a post on Instagram, or a comment, or just a notification on your phone. They all trigger dopamine. So I feel like we get so much of it, it's almost like we get too much that we stop appreciating it. So then we need more just to feel like a certain level of happiness or reward. Shopping just for a dopamine hit is all about the thrill of the chase. Like I said at the start, it's about buying the thing and acquiring it, not so much about having it and wearing it and utilizing it and enjoying it afterwards. So if you find that your shopping habits are more about the shopping than the actual things you're buying, I want to share a few ideas of ways you could go about shopping differently. So if you find that your shopping habits are leaning more towards the dopamine hit and the thrill of the chase than just buying things because you like them and because you're actually wearing them and enjoying them, then this video is definitely for you today. A few things we can do to, maybe let's call it preventative measures. It's things that we want to put, like, make the habit harder. So we all know building a new habit is really hard because we don't have kind of the structure in place for a new habit. It just falls by the wayside. It's really difficult to do. So we always try and make it easier for ourselves. Lay out our gym clothes the night before. Put our new skincare routine right in front of us in the bathroom. So when we get up in the morning, we do our skincare. Only buying healthy food so that we're not tempted to buy unhealthy food. We make things easy for ourselves, or as easy as possible for these new habits to stick. And that goes for also trying to break a habit. You want to make it harder for yourself. So number one, if online shopping is one of your downfalls, I want you to remove all of your saved credit card, debit card information from websites, because it is just too easy to shop when our cards are saved. We don't have to go and get our wallet to buy. We just literally click a few buttons. We've got Apple Pay, we've got cards saved on our phones, we've got it saved to our Google accounts. They're saved everywhere. It's too easy to shop. And if you want to put a bit of distance between yourself and impulse shopping, that is my number one tip. Number two, and I always mention this one in these kinds of videos, but it's to unsubscribe from marketing emails and unfollow brands that make you want to shop all the time. Like if they're sending emails every single day or posting about new product all the time, there's always new drops. If it's triggering for you and it makes you want to shop, definitely unfollow. I've also tried to, whenever I see ads coming up on Instagram that I just don't want to see, when you're looking through stories and you're just checking out people you follow or your friends, and just these ads just keep popping up because you Googled something once upon a time, just try and go into, block these ads. I don't want to see them. It's irrelevant to me. I have no interest in it. Just try and keep updating your information like that on your Instagram or social medias, so that the algorithm starts to think that you don't want to see these ads, because we don't want to shop. One of my tips on Instagram is when I see something that I actually do want to buy, not that I'm going to buy, but I want to, I will just send myself a link on WhatsApp, and it's saved for later. So if I decide I do actually want this thing, then I can get it later. Because when you see an ad on Instagram and you'll never see it again. To prevent FOMO, send yourself the link. But really, I never go back to these links, very, very rarely. So it's kind of my way of like, if I really, really want it, it's there, but I don't want it that much that I actually go back. And that just stops me from impulse shopping on the spot. But being like, I almost get to my cart and I'm like, oh, it's only like 20, 30 quid, maybe I'll buy it now. Send yourself the link, close out of it, come back to it later. And I rarely do. My next tip is to decide on a shopping budget, like a monthly budget, and stick to it. If you say zero budget and that's not likely to stick with you, like if that's too restrictive, just give yourself some kind of budget that you can either save up for multiple months and then invest in things every so often, or if you want to spend that every month, that's fine, but make sure it's something you can afford and that's something that fits in with the rest of your finances, and that you still have savings and you still have all your bills going out and everything's getting accounted for. Make sure you can afford it and it's not going to affect your finances. But I find it really good to have a limit, because then you can spend. It takes a little bit of the guilt away. You're like, well, I said I was going to spend 50 quid a month, so I've spent it now, and there's no guilt because you accounted for it. And another great tip I got from a video from Hannah Louise Poston was to only shop at weekends. So when you're online shopping during the week and you see loads of things, or something pops into your head, you see somebody else has it and you're like, oh, I need that, and you go on the website and just Google it and you're like, I'm just going to buy it straight away. Pause, put it in your basket, put it on a wish list, come back to it at the weekend, and you'll realize by the weekend you have like 10 things that you want to buy, and you're like, no way can I afford to buy all of these things. So each day when like something little comes up and you order it on the spot, you don't often realize how much that's accumulating when you have to sit down and look at it at once. So say Saturday is your shopping day, you look down, you sit on Saturday, you're like, right, what of these things do I need to buy? Actually, I don't need to buy any of them, because I don't want to spend 200 quid in one day when you may have spent 200 quid across 5 days. If you're trying not to shop at all, this isn't the best tip, because you may actually just go on a Saturday and buy everything. But it does definitely help. It takes away that impulse. So it's more like it just gives you a few days to think about it. And usually that's enough time to kind of get rid of that initial craving for the thing. And then you're like, yeah, I don't really need it. I'd rather keep my money. Okay, my next tip, the next section would be to try a shopping detox. And by this, I mean a no-buy. I've talked about no-buy so much. I have a whole playlist of videos. I'll pop them in the cards here. And I've done videos on how to have a really successful no-buy and my different rules that I set myself during a no-buy period. And I just find it really helpful to have clear guidelines to follow of like things I will buy, things I won't buy. Because obviously that doesn't mean buy nothing. It's just within the categories that I feel like are my biggest issue. So I won't go into too much detail about how to do no buy, but definitely check out, I'll link one video up here that's how to do a successful no buy, and that will be your best bet. I read another book a few months ago, I can't remember what it was called, but I'll try and remember and stick it on the screen. And it was also about addiction, and in it, the author said, and I'm sure she's a psychologist, so she'd said that even taking a 2-week break from something is a good start to kind of retraining the habit or to break away from the habit. So 2 weeks of not shopping is a really great place to start, but I think a month is probably a good minimum to start with. If you really want to just take a break from it altogether. I think 2 weeks feels quite short. Depends how often you shop as it is. But if you can take a month away, try that. 30 days off, give yourself a reward at the end of it. Doesn't have to be a shopping reward. It can be take yourself out for lunch or for a nice coffee, go meet up with a friend, go for a spa day, get your hair done, something like that. Something that's not like clothes reward, because that's technically just shopping at the end of the month, isn't it? But it's a good start to like reprogram your dopamine receptors. So you're kind of cutting off the source of dopamine for a month or more if you want to try it for more, so that hopefully it can start to reset itself a little bit so that other things will give you dopamine and not just this shopping habit that you've acquired over the years. Try to approach this as mindfully and as sustainably as possible. And when I say sustainable, I don't mean like eco-friendly, I mean sustainable for you, something that you can maintain long term. So there's no point saying I'm not going to shop for a year if you actually feel like that's really unrealistic for you, or saying I'm only going to spend £20 a month on clothing if that's totally unrealistic for you. So make it realistic, but make it manageable. Make sure you, again, can afford it. Make sure it works for you. So you could try like a budget and a certain amount of items a month. It could be like 1 item a month, or 10 items a year, or whatever it is. Something you could do during this 30 days off from shopping is have a bit of fun with what you already own. A lot of the time I find myself scrolling on Vinted because that's the main place I shop, and because it feels better to me because it's secondhand, so it feels less bad, but it still can be impulse shopping. When I find myself scrolling on Vinted, I try to switch to Pinterest and go, right, what kind of outfits do I want to recreate in my wardrobe? What am I lacking in that actually maybe I could recreate with pieces I own, but I just haven't put that combination together yet, or I just haven't tried that certain color combo. Find inspiration from Pinterest that you can use in your own wardrobe to make things feel exciting again. So you're getting, again, it will create little bit hits of dopamine when you find like a really great outfit that you can go and wear that you've never worn before. So that's a great way. It's a very creative way of using your clothes in a different way. It's a lot more creative than shopping. Shopping's easy. Picking pieces out is easy. It's putting them together and putting them into outfits and making sure you can get multiple different outfits out of those pieces. That is creative. It's a great way to make what you already own feel new as well. If you don't already do this, I would highly recommend separating your clothes into seasons, so you don't have every season hanging in your wardrobe all year round. This is the fastest way to make you so bored of your clothes when you see them every single day, and certain seasons you obviously can't wear them, certain weather, maybe it's too hot, too cold, too rainy. So you're not wearing the pieces, you're going to be like, oh, I must not even like them at all. It's just the wrong season. So store them away until it is the right season and the right weather to wear them. And as you take out your new season and you have that switch in your wardrobe, it's almost like shopping your closet again. You're like, oh my God, I forgot I even had this piece. Or like, I'm really excited to wear it again, especially when it comes to your favorite season. So autumn is coming up. I love autumn. It's my favorite. And I can't wait to take my autumn wardrobe out. And because of this, I've been spending so much time on Pinterest planning my autumn wardrobe. It's like the middle of summer. I don't even care. I'm ready for autumn. We've had too many heat waves and I'm done. I can't function in the heat, but I just find I'm on Pinterest looking for new outfit combinations. I'm also keep going to Vinted to see what I can buy new, or not new, but like secondhand new to me for my autumn wardrobe. But I think I just really need to wait until I have my autumn wardrobe hanging in my wardrobe, and then I'll remember exactly what I have, and then I'll probably realize I don't need to add anything new to my wardrobe this year. But definitely take the time to separate your wardrobe, whether it's into 2 seasons, 4 seasons, however many seasons you experience in your climate. The next one, easier said than done sometimes, but keep your closet tidy, because if it's a mess, it's going to feel like you have nothing to wear. You just can't see anything to wear. You have tons of stuff, but it's like, I can't see anything I want to wear. I can't see anything. I don't know what anything is. So I need something new. Sometimes it's easier to just go and buy something new than it is to just sort out your wardrobe. But trust me, tidying your wardrobe and organizing it and making it look nice and like your own little boutique, color coordinated, organized by category, whatever way you want to do it, that will be so much more rewarding in the long run. And if you really don't want to do it, rope in your sister or your friend or that person you know who's so good at organizing. They will probably be really glad to help. Now, finally, this is my last point, but this is probably the most important one, and it's to address the triggers that make you want to shop. We all have different reasons of why we impulse shop and different things that trigger us. And sometimes it's just a really bad day. And sometimes we always are having a bad day, and that is going to take a little bit more work. And if therapy is what you need, then by all means go and do that. But see if you can figure out the reasons why you're craving this dopamine hit in the first place. Is it because you're actually really stressed at the moment? Is work super stressful? Do you maybe need a less stressful job in general? Obviously, we can't just all go quitting our jobs and getting easier jobs. It's not that. That's not how life works. But is there something you could do to manage your stress better? Maybe you need to incorporate more exercise into your day. You need to eat better for more energy, things like that. Maybe you just need to talk to your manager and say, my workload's really tough right now, and I need to hand over this, and this. This isn't going to just impact your shopping habits, but obviously your whole life. But my point here is that your whole life is affecting your shopping habits and how you're feeling on the inside and your emotions. You can journal on this. If you can't afford therapy, if you can't afford to quit your job, as most people can't, just get a journal. Take time every day to write down how you feel. What is it that triggered you today? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you not feeling so good? What are the negative feelings? What are the positive feelings? What has impacted those feelings, or what's caused you to feel like that? Another thing you can journal on is when you shop. So if you weren't ready to do your 30-day no buy just yet, maybe you want to do a 1-month reflection. Just notice how you're shopping, become aware of your shopping habits. And then for the second month, you can take a month off shopping. But for that first month, just journal. Anytime you shop, what did you buy? What was the thought process when you bought it? Were you like, oh, when I buy this top, I'm going to feel so amazing. People are going to think I'm great. I'm going to look like I've got so much money because I'm buying this brand. Or I'm going to be, someone's going to think something about me because of this. Or, we all make up things in our heads for why we buy things. The next thing I want you to write down is what happened before you shopped, like what triggered you, what was happening that day, what was your state of mind, how are you feeling emotions-wise. See if you can start to identify a pattern, certain things that happen during the day that trigger you to shop, or certain emotions that trigger you to shop. And then when you can identify those things, can you come up with something else instead of shopping? Like where you would normally be like, I'm just going to go buy something and cheer myself up. Is there somebody that you could call or text instead and just have a chat with them? Would that make you feel better? Would actually just sitting down and journaling make you feel better? Would going for a massage or acupuncture or a facial, or would that actually make you feel better? Going for a swim, going to the gym, going and just making yourself a really nice nourishing meal and really taking care of yourself, having a little at-home pamper day, sitting in and having a cozy movie night. Like, I'm sure there's so many other things that you can think of that you really enjoy. I hope there are. And if there's not, then definitely take the time to think what it is you really enjoy. I think this is the most important step, and this is the one that's going to make this whole process a sustainable process that you can. It may not be, transformative overnight, but I think taking a few weeks to reflect on your shopping habits, just noticing them, don't judge them, just notice when you shop, notice how much you spend. Like, are there certain days you shop? Is there certain times in your cycle when you shop? Is it after a certain mood or a certain incident? Get really clear on that, and then you can try and take a break. And then when these triggers come up, you can be like, okay, well, I'm not shopping, so how am I going to deal with them now? And just work through them and just feel your feelings. Don't try and smush them down just by shopping and cover them up. Really feel them and just work through them as best you can. Coming from me, I know this is hard. I'm not the kind of person to really feel my feelings. I'm definitely more trained to like bury them, don't share them. So I have been trying to journal more and to just try and like, when I feel a feeling, just really feel it and don't try and like brush it off too soon. All this to say, I'm not judging anyone's shopping habits. I've got my own shopping habits that I'm still working on. As much as having a capsule wardrobe and shopping secondhand and all that has really helped me, there's still times when I'm triggered to shop because that's my go-to thing. I'm definitely an emotional shopper. If you have any tips yourself on how you have managed your shopping habits or something that you've recently learned that actually really helps you, would love for you to leave a comment below, share it so someone else might make use of it and that it might help them. Also, just remember, you're not alone in this, because these are my most popular videos that I make when I talk about shopping habits and not being able to stop shopping. So you're not the only one. There is thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe millions of people who struggle with this. So don't feel alone. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Just see what you can do to do better. I'll talk to you all really soon in my next video.